The King Without a Crown. In the distant kingdom of Arvion, nestled among mountains and lakes, lived a king named Leont. He was not a king from fairy tales. He had no magic wand, no enchanted castle. But he had something that made him truly extraordinary, a heart full of kindness. King Leont was loved by his people because instead of sitting on a throne, he walked through his kingdom every day. He knew the names of shepherds' children, remembered which families needed help and which fields needed tending. The people respected him, but he always said, "A crown doesn't make a king. It's how he serves his people that matters." Not everyone agreed with him. In the northern reaches of the kingdom lived Prince Aeron, Leont's younger cousin, full of ambition, jealousy, and pride. "This king doesn't even wear a crown," he scoffed, "and yet the people still follow him. It's unfair." Aeron's envy grew year after year, until one winter, while King Leont was visiting a distant village, Aeron staged a coup. He seized the palace, declared himself king, and, as his first decree, ordered the forging of the largest, heaviest crown the kingdom had ever seen. When Leont returned to the capital, there was no place for him. His room had been taken, banners changed, and the people, afraid, remained silent. King Leont did not fight. He left the city alone, without an army or royal emblems. He returned to the forests to live among ordinary people. He built a wooden cottage and lived like one of them. He sewed clothes, healed animals, taught children to read and write. For the villagers nearby, he was still a king, even without a throne. Meanwhile, Aeron, though he sat on a golden throne, found no peace. The heavy crown ached on his neck, officials lied to him, and the people feared him more than respected him. After a year of his reign, the kingdom began to crumble. Cities emptied, fields were abandoned, and sorrow settled in the people's hearts. Aeron tried to regain control. He raised taxes, created new laws, issued more commands. But the more he ordered, the less people listened. At last, in disguise, he set out across the land to understand what had gone wrong. He passed ruined villages, closed schools, and deserted royal stations. Then, in a quiet valley, he saw something that stopped him. A wooden school stood there, built of simple beams. Children laughed, ran, and learned to count. Adults helped one another. Fields were cared for, and in the center stood a man in a plain cloak, with a beard and eyes like still water. Leont. Aeron sat in the shade of a tree and watched as his cousins spoke with children, hugged the elderly, and bandaged a horse's wound. And at that moment he understood something he had long refused to accept. A king is not the one who wears a crown. A king is the one people choose to follow, even when they don't have to. That night, Aeron left his crown on a stone and walked back to the castle on foot. There, before the royal council, he stepped down from the throne. It took many weeks before Leont agreed to return, but he did, not because he desired power, but because he knew the kingdom needed a guide, not a ruler. When he returned, he did not wear the crown. Instead, he hung it above the palace doors, saying, "The crown is a reminder of how easy it is to forget whom we serve." From that day on, the kingdom of Arvion was known not for its riches or army, but for its wisdom. And Leont went down in history not as King Leont I, but as the King Without a Crown. Aeron Moral. True strength doesn't lie in symbols or titles, but in a heart that serves. A crown may shine, but only a heart can lead others through the dark.